What's up top 10 fam, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Now I've only been inside one haunted house with two of my friends and it really wasn't even that scary, but I still peed my pants, so I mean there's that. These are the top 10 haunted house horror stories.
One time and now time out. Time out. I said time out.
Starting us off at number 10 is method acting. Back in 2016, Omaha police officers met with a woman who said she had been badly assaulted by an employee at the Mystery Manor haunted house. 27-year-old Brenton Donaldson was working as a sadistic clown at the attraction, and he apparently pulled her hair during a tour and held her head against a table for a full minute. He apparently even pulled out a lot of her hairs as well, and when questioned about it, claimed he was just acting in the spirit of his character. He was very quickly fired after that, and I mean, come on buddy, there's method acting and then there's straight up assaults. It's a haunted house attraction, you're meant to scare them, not attack them. Like, get the memo. And coming in at number 9 is the 52-year-old. So back in 2014, Corey Stevens, the owner of an abandoned haunted house in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, started receiving serious complaints from his customers. It was brought to his attention that there was someone in the haunted house that had been inappropriately touching and groping people. 52-year-old Daniel Rossman paid to get inside every time, and he obviously wasn't an employee. He ended up grabbing a woman's breasts and humping 2 other men aggressively, and in total sexually assaulted 8 people. One of the instances was even caught on camera, and all the team leads and guards inside the house were just walking each other trying to pinpoint his location to kick him the hell out of there. And apparently Rossman was no stranger to sexual assault and was promptly arrested and is currently serving time for 3 counts of 4th-degree sexual assault. At number 8 we have the sex toys. I don't know how I managed to bring that into a haunted house video, but there's clearly a first time for everything. I am a genius. So back in 2016, 23-year-old Robert Keller and his John Doe friend thought it would be a great idea to taunt people at the Massacre Haunted House in Montgomery, Chicago. The 2 men dressed up as bloody clowns and had a bunch of vibrating and non-vibrating sex toys on them. A woman decided to bring 4 kids to the attraction a few weeks before Halloween for some fun, you know, as you do. Bring the little kids along, they love that. As they walked to the ticket window, the 2 men confronted them and were holding the toys against the woman and the 4 kids' bodies. A teddy bear one of the men were holding even had a sex toy attached to it, and John Doe started simulating sex acts on the teddy in front of the kids. Keller was poking one of the little girls with a toy in her bum while shouting explicit things at her, and the 5 ran back to their car and left without even going inside. The 2 were obviously charged with disorderly conduct, and apparently Keller had done the same thing inside the haunted house 2 years prior. Robert, what is wrong with you? Go trick-or-treating. If you're too old for that, go to a house party. Dress up, stop harassing kids. Get a day job, Robert. Filling on number 7 slot is the zombie house. So this one's from Redditor CKE324, who volunteered as a zombie in a zombie haunted house one year. Now the haunt only lasts for Halloween weekend, and people go through escorted by guides in security costumes. One really tough looking woman was coming through the user's room and was grabbed on the arm by one of the zombies, and she actually ended up on the floor in a fetal position crying and getting even more scared as the zombies just were circling her. Eventually she started screaming that she had peed herself, so to please leave her alone. Another boy on the same tour the same day got so scared he puked on one of the actors. If I was one of those actors, I just would not get paid enough to get like cried on or puked on or shat on or any of that. Nah. If you're gonna do that, I just expect a raise. Now at number 6 is HAUGHT Mansion. Photographer Seth Lawless traveled around the US to find 13 abandoned haunted houses, and HAUGHT Mansion in Brush Park, Michigan was one of them. Back in the 1940s, the mansion was actually a brothel for upscale gentlemen, and sometimes upscale gentlemen can be the scum of the earth. Years after its closure, countless dead bodies were found in the cellar of the mansion, and there was peculiar detail with each one. Each body had a perfect circle on their torso chest area. The house itself is falling apart, it's decrepit, and I would not want to be inside there for the life of me. But DC fans, little Easter egg for you is actually Bruce Wayne's house in Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice, and I didn't watch that one and I refused to do so because everyone claimed it was trash, and I agree with them. But adrenaline junkies have visited the house and claimed seeing many hauntings, like things moving when they shouldn't, noises, the sound of music and laughter when no one is there clearly, so let's not go there. Coming Coming in at number 5 is Blood Manor. This one comes from Angie Hansen, who worked at Blood Manor in New York for 4 years, but in haunted houses in general for a whopping 14 years. I feel like after all that time, nothing would faze Angie, to be honest. Like, someone could be getting drilled in the head and she'd be there like painting her nails like, haha, seen worse. Now either way, her role at Blood Manor was playing the victim inside the morgue room, but she claimed the place was actually haunted. Every single day the team would find props missing and ended up finding them in completely different rooms when no one had moved them. The heavy ass mortician's table would just be at the other end of the room, glass bottles would break mid-tour even though no one was near them, and doors would open and close. On her last night of the season, the lights in the morgue just started strobing like a club, and Angie's acting partner just started screaming at her, telling her to get on the table because her running around was clearly upsetting whatever spirit was in there. And as soon as Angie laid down, the lights stopped and went back to normal. Imagine having to entertain people in a haunted house and then suffer the haunting for yourself. Like, that's the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals. No. At number 4 are the attackers. So back in 2016, actors working at the O'Keefe Ranch Halloween maze in BC were attacked by rowdy customers. Like, I thought they were meant to scare us, not the other way around. Now, a woman wanting to be called Kimberly said her role was to be inside a cabin and stick her arm out between 2 boards and scream for help. Routinely, that's what she was doing, but to her surprise, her hand was smashed 3 times over with a crutch. She ended up at the hospital with bruising from her knuckles all the way to her wrist. The assailant even tried to go after her son, but thankfully didn't actually hit him. Great, you have a heart. But she wasn't even the only actor attacked that night. When she got to the hospital, she was told she was the 3rd actor from the ranch to come in that night with injuries. I hate that. Like, what reason would you have to do that? I legit don't get it. These people are there to try and make you have fun and entertain you. Why are you assaulting them? Trash of the earth. Filling our number 3 slot is the voicemail. Now this one's from Reddit user Elise14, who said she worked at a haunted attraction, and in her first year she was given the role of a woman begging for her life, but then eventually getting beheaded. Tasteful. Now either way, in her bit she had to scream and beg one of the customers to help her, but one of these nights she ended up butt dialing her mum. Oh my god, just call the police, I can imagine the terror. Now she ended up leaving a screaming voicemail to her mum saying, please help me, he's going to kill me. And yes, she sounded very convincing because that's literally her job. Now fast forward to the next day, her mum plays her voicemails on her speakerphone at work, and then it starts playing. All her co-workers are just looking at her like, what the hell? She ends up calling her daughter ASAP after that to make sure she was alive, and of course she was. Just found it funny, like, bad luck, my friend. Now at number 2 is the kill. This one was shared by Redditor 1,000,000 Dandelions, who used to work at an all-volunteer haunted house. Now they remembered that one year a group of 10 male teens showed up dressed as the Grim Reaper, which was just fantastic. The organizers of the house put them all in a corridor, with the plan being to make the customers walk through the corridor of sights. Am I the only one that finds it weird that this word is pronounced without the C? Like, why is it sights and not scythes? But that's also very hard to say, scythes. Either way, when they started pouring in, one young woman was already herself from the get-go. She was edging her way through the rooms on high alert, was visibly shaken, probably needed a Xanax, like she was not okay. Now the user herself was a living mannequin, so she decided to just say good evening very quietly, and that set her off running towards the Grim Reaper corridor. And I know this already happened in the past, but I feel so bad for her and what's about to come. Now the Reapers start circling her with their scythes flashing, and this girl screams at the top of her lungs and then drops to the ground. Not in fetal position. Turns out she bloody passed out from the fear, and the Reapers were so scared they were literally standing over her like, did we kill her? Like, what? Oops, no, didn't sign up for that. I'ma go now. Like the SpongeBob meme, I'ma head out. And finally, at number 1 is the child's clown. Now this one is so problematic in so many ways, well obviously since it's at number 1. Anyway, back in 2016, 36-year-old Derek Ryan Lapel, the former owner of the Terror Nights haunted house in Tyler, Texas, got screwed, and rightfully so. Soon after he sold his stakes in the business, he was charged with possessing child pornography on his laptop and phone. During the investigation, police found a bunch of child pornography he had uploaded to his own Flickr account. There were videos of girls as young as 10 and 11 years old showing their genitals to the camera, and that's really not even the worst part. Not only did he own this haunted house, he performed there as well as Cranky Clown. So he literally was always at an establishment surrounded by kids that he's sexually attracted to. Like, I'm sick to my stomach. Thankfully, he was jailed with a bail of $500,000, and hopefully he doesn't have enough money to pay it. Scum. And that's it for today's video, guys. As always, I'm your host Ayman Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!